Hey guys, Trevin here, Gear Shift Garage, and I'm with Brett Ellenson.
Yes, sir. You got it right. Yeah.
Of BOHO Campers, Camper Vans.
Yeah.
And you're here to give us a tour, so tell us about what we're doing. And
yeah, so it was cool to be able to connect with you a few weeks back, and then all of a sudden, like, overnight got the call like, hey, it's all happening. And I was like, oh, sweet. Well, it'd be cool to meet you, Trevin. What our thing is we're kind of giving people back freedom of getting out of the big lunky RVs and kind of subpar quality that the RV industry is known for a little bit. And that's kind of how our company came about. Was a buddy of mine wanted to build a camper van, and I said I could definitely help you do it. And we started as a rental company, and then we transferred that into selling to end user public that just want to rig their own. And then we also have a rental fleet as well that we run. So we have both sides of that still covered. But the big thing is getting people into easy to use, very easy function wise, as far as like renters being able to fly in, use it with a quick 15-30 minute walkthrough and quick driving test, and then also breeding a lot of that quality into it that I've known from some of my off-road racing background and stuff that I have, as well as our rental fleet that also gives you another layer of quick miles on a chassis and what breaks and what kind of gets, you know, subpar quality of just componentry and stuff.
Nothing's gonna break faster than a rental, right?
Yeah, you know, and you know, what is the Jeff Foxworthy skit where he's like, you know, do you want insurance on it? And he said, well, heck yeah, I want insurance. This is going to see more air than a skateboard at the X Games, you know? And it's like, fair enough to the customers, you know? I think people probably have set land speed records on our vans over washboards, I'm sure. But they all held together, and it's been a really fun learning lesson, and it's actually a fun proving ground for us to say we build a product that stands the test of time in a rental fleet for a year, 2 years, and then we sell them off to the general public to keep the miles down on them, right? So the vans will have 40 to 70,000 miles on them, and then we sell them as a used chassis. But for all intents and purposes, like, it's a lot of original componentry from what we've learned, right? And so we kind of know that if end user is going to have it, they're going to be way more delicate with it. So if we can get it through 2 years of rental trips, like, we know somebody's going to be able to have that van for 10, 15, 20 years on their own. You know?
Got it. Well, let's show us how these are made and give us a tour.
Let's get after it. So walk into the lobby, and sales team killing it over there, talking with the customer right now. Kind of a cool, chill area. Virtually no chairs in here at the moment because we have them all stowed away in our show van right now that's going to NASCAR this weekend.
Nice.
So we're kind of dating the episode, but that's fine. but yeah, this is kind of where customers kind of get the first feel of us. And then we got kind of the really open, this really drew us to this location of showing people like, hey, how's your sandwich made? You know, put some glass right in front of it and let people see it, right? So when we saw this, we're like, this is going to be awesome, where people can come in, they actually get to see like actual production.
If your van's getting made, are you welcome to come by and?
It's the only time that we do allow people into the shop. So if you have a build going on, we will, like, on top of progress photos, if you live in town or you're traveling through town, you are more than welcome to come in here and go get a tour of your van. Sometimes the van's in a pretty gnarly stage where people are like, half the walls are cut out and there's stuff hanging and this and that. But I think they get the feel that it's all part of the process.
Totally.
Right?
Yeah. So a lot goes into it.
Yeah, definitely. So if you want a tour right now, I give you a tour.
Yeah, let's go.
All right, let's go. So walk into the shop, and right now we work on 6 vans at a time. We finish a van in anywhere from 4 to just honestly about 7 weeks. And that's really whatever the customer is doing as far as customization wise, right? A rental van, we can turn one of those because we're making all the decisions. If, you know, a supplier is short on something is really the only time that hangs us up, we can just pivot to something else. So a rental van, we can build those in about 4.5 weeks. We've done some pretty wild sprinters and stuff like that those span into that 6 to 7 week time frame.
Got it.
But it's rolling out of the shop on that 7th week and available to the customer to pick up only a few days after that.
Sure.
It's because all of our QC and quality testing and programming is done at phases of the van.
How much? Obviously, this is half wood shop. This is half cabinet shop. Half electronics shop and mechanical. How much I mean, how much time does it take just for the cabinetry and the woodworking versus the electronics? What does that look like?
Yeah, so awesome question. We have our manufacturing departments kind of split into two areas. So we have our production and we have our prefab in the back. So prefab is running our CNC, putting all our cabinets together and getting them ready to come into the production area, which we're standing in right now. I would say the electronics and that stuff, you're probably more of like a 15% of the time is all the electronics. And then we're looking at the other 85% of the time is all of our woodworking, because a lot of it is custom fine woodworking, because we're using, and we'll show you, red cedar on the walls, and then we're doing a lot of fine trim work where we don't, you know, if you look in our builds and you'll kind of notice that we don't put like trim work around cabinetry or baseboards, because we're hand fitting that to the wall and making sure that it fits, and not being okay with a 1/4 inch gap and just throwing a piece of trim work over it.
Got it. Okay.
So that's right where we actually do kind of feel that we stand apart from a lot of people, that you look in builds and they got crown molding, you know, not crown molding, probably fancier than a lot of people do, but like they got the 1/4 rounds.
They're using it to hide imperfections.
Exactly.
And every van, I'm assuming, is a little bit different too. So it's not like you can just stamp out the same.
100%, you're 100% correct. So like when we're looking at a ProMaster compared to a Transit, compared to a Mercedes Sprinter, we got all three of them in the shop right now, and they all have their own curvatures and their own angles. Each manufacturer has their own level of sexiness they want to put into it, you know? The ProMasters are kind of like a bruiser. They're like this kind of rugged, more of a square box, which allows us to actually have more square footage or inchage in the inside of it to build on. The Transits and the Sprinters, they narrow them up a little bit faster, so a lot of times you'll see on those flares, those big fiberglass flares on them, to be able to get that sleeping quarters typically is what they're trying to get for that. Where the ProMasters, typically you don't need that. We can give customers 74 inches sleeping side to side in a van just from the factory. We have to kind of really work around those flares or sleep front to back in a Transit or a Sprinter to kind of get those sleeping lengths.
Got it.
To start with like some of the builds that are a little bit, you know, subdued. That one over there just finished up today. So my man Kyle in here. Right now, what are we working on, Kyle?
Installing the bench lids over here.
Cool. So we got benches going in. Next thing going in will probably be our bed top, and finishing this off with our pull-out table. Something that to note is a lot of these components are built outside of the van, right? So our water box with all of our componentry in here, our water heater, water pump, and everything. Water pump is installed in here, but they set the water heater in outside of the van. So the water tank has been tested, and then this goes in as a standalone unit along with our electrical box. So like this is already pre-built and pre-tested before it goes in the van. So we get to do a lot of troubleshooting before we have our components go in the van, right? And then we kind of have the thing that, as you know, like it's just redundancy after redundancy of like QC and checking as you're getting ready to go on an adventure. We have to do that, you know, 5-6 times a month for every single customer, because we're making sure when this thing rolls out, we get a lot of customers from around the country. So like you would be flying in and picking your van up, and the customers will give us like not give us, but they'll be sending us like Amazon box after Amazon box after Amazon box of cutlery, pots and pans.
Oh wow, because they just get in it and go.
Exactly. And that's exactly how it works. So like when they show up, I'll show you over on our rental side, but Helena and Ulysses do such a great job of like really fitting the van. Like the bed's already made.
Holy
all
smokes.
of your stuff could be put away if you ask for it. You know, a lot of people like to open their boxes up and put the stuff away how they want to. But basically, your van is ready to go. Hit the grocery store, and then take 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks to get home.
Holy smokes.
So that's just, we do that out of the gate. And not to say we've never had an issue. But those usually spring up pretty quick. As you know. And you can troubleshoot stuff, but that is few and far between.
Got it. Well, testing outside definitely helps, right? That's huge.
And then we're putting it in we have quick tests, make sure things turn on, see where programming's at, but then you put it in the van, and then how does that play with the whole system once we're actually wiring it to the van?
Right.
So then there's a whole bunch of other tests that go on, right? Right now, Kyle doesn't have the advantage of having our lights or anything in yet, but once the lights and everything go in, they just start using the interior lights as it. So, you know, the customer's van is actually somewhat being used in one way or another.
Sure. Yeah.
During the build process, you bring a vacuum in here. Well, instead of grabbing an extension cord, bring your extension cord over, they'll just plug into an outlet in the van and then vacuum something up real quick and then go. So it's kind of naturally we get like another R&D on it. This van over here is a very, very you're seeing the first of its kind R&D project come together.
Holy smokes, this is tiny.
Yeah, she is an astronaut. So she was actually up in a SpaceX capsule.
What?
Yeah. And this is something that she's looking to go and travel in. She's like, I'm totally comfortable in like a kind of a smaller space. And she's like, it didn't freak me out at all to be in space and doing all that, right? It's pretty wild. So like, we actually built this van for her as like, kind of like, that'd be a fun R&D project. Not too many people. I'm not gonna say we're the only one doing this.
Yeah.
A lot of people love doing that.
Right.
But we thought it'd be cool to develop our own BOHO Transit Connect build.
That's awesome.
But yeah, so this sits back in here, and then when she wants to use it, it just slides right out like this. The cushions are gonna come down, create this as her sleeping surface.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So, it is, like I said, we got all three chassis we work on. Mercedes, Ford, Ram ProMasters, Mercedes Sprinter. This guy is a little bit further along, right? So this one's probably got, you know, another 15% to go. Cabinets are in, everything's up on the roof. Electrical system, you get to see a little bit behind the scenes right here of our water system. 1500 watt. It's a tank 5-gallon water heater.
Okay.
So we're only using half the capacity of our inverter.
Sure. Okay.
So, but the other thing here is, if we're looking at it, we got battle-borne batteries, and then we use all Victron components to support all of our electrical systems. So everything is just a really high grade in the market that we don't have to worry about servicing it later, because we got builds to pump out. You know, we're booked out into, you know, mid-spring next year. So we can see, this one might be open on the back, but this is how we're getting the van.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're getting this guy coming in. That's it.
It doesn't look as big from the outside, right?
No.
And then when you get it done, it still looks big. It's a wild, because you fit so much stuff in here, right?
Yeah. Appreciate that, because that is something, like, it's always good to hear people notice something that might be subtle that we really, really work like really hard for, and that's giving everybody as much space as we possibly can.
Right.
So we're keeping all of our framing and all of our componentry as tight to the walls as possible to still open it up as much as we possibly can.
Right. Yeah.
Here's a van that this might be where you, the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, you want to go see your van? It's all cut to bits, right?
Yeah.
So I'm sure they'll be putting the windows in probably either today or tomorrow. These just got cut yesterday. Other things, again, I said it, we are a kind of an open book on how a lot of the stuff comes together. Don't ask us for CAD drawings, because go do your own work on that. But make sure if you're gonna cut your own windows in, prime them when you're done. That's raw metal, you know? If you get a little bit of moisture there, it'd be a terrible thing to get some just a little bit of moisture that starts eating it away.
You're gonna rust away.
So you can see here, we're priming all of our edges after it's all cut out. So this van they definitely wanted a very open feel. This one, just looking at it, this one will probably be getting flares put onto it, so that'll bring the fiberglass flare that comes out, because from just what I'm seeing here, the bed, I'm sure they're sleeping side to side, so it's probably not one but two flares that are going to be going on this van. plus a big open kitchen window. They come together kind of like a house, right? They're getting our subframing in. This one doesn't have too much subframing, and you can kind of see, again, fighting to get closer to the wall as possible.
Yeah.
Where the ProMaster has some of their pillars kind of come out from where like the main body lines are.
Yep.
And so it's fair enough for us to kind of build off of those to match those lines. In the Transits, everything above, as you can see, that like 12 inches right there, 14 inches, the van is pretty uniform to go up. So we actually sink a lot of our framing back into it just to match that curve. And you can see here, we're just going straight to the frame then.
Yep.
Because we're fighting to get you all of your square footage that you have paid for.
Totally.
The floor here will be primed and then a single laminate sheet put in. We use Tarkett flooring, and we use the highest grade of Tarkett. Okay. Looks good, and it also is like the same grade you would find in like a hospital cafeteria or like a gymnasium. Yeah, like it's a super high grade of flooring.
Yeah.
We are also using hemp wool insulation. Can't smoke it, but you come on in.
Yeah.
But it is like, the guys cut this out, and it's just a bat of, they have this whole process of putting it together, but it's actually hemp and wool fibers combined.
Crazy.
And so what you can notice about this, just kind of, you can touch it. It's not caustic. It's like, like for like health benefits, it's way better than using some kind of fiberglass insulation.
Yeah.
But this, it's actually dense, where you go like that to like, fiberglass insulation, you can basically touch your fingers. Yeah. So the density to it as well gives us a really good acoustic barrier from the outside in as well, and the inside out, both ways. So on top of an R13 rating that we're gaining, we're also gaining an awesome level of sound deadening capability from it as well.
That's
so
awesome.
Kind of a twofer.
Yeah, very cool.
In the ceiling we have insulation, in the floor we have insulation, those are just covered up. Behind that wall they've already put the insulation when they put the wall up. We're doing the best we possibly can at getting this thing, tuned for super high heats like we have down here in Arizona, and going into, negative temperatures from Wisconsin.
Yep.
So, you get down to -10, -15 easy in the winter without even a wind chill. So
and the fact that your water tank's inside.
Yep.
This is kind of a 4-season rig.
100%. Here, this one is actually just finished up.
We talked about this last night. I really like that you are, it's a show-off mechanical room in a sense, right? As you can actually see your electronics, see your components. I think oftentimes that gets, buried, put away, can't see it, and if someone is halfway mechanically minded, it's sometimes easy to see if there's a fault. There's going to be a light, or a burnt connection, or something is not working. You can at least peek in there. Right?
That's exactly it. Yeah, I mean, so a lot of our clients are, maybe not so mechanically inclined that like I wouldn't expect everybody to be able to like diagnose what's wrong with an inverter or something. But could you just look at a fuse for us and see if the fuse is blown? And we'll show you on the rental side that you can, like just a flashlight, or even just by turning your electrical box on, you can see in there and be like, it looks like it's popped, because we can send a picture of a good one and a pop one, and they'll be like, it's the B one.
Yeah,
like,
right.
Perfect. Okay, So we've said this, I don't know, 1,000,001 times. The serviceability comes from our rental side, and that comes where if my rental team has a van that something happens to it, a water pump goes out, and this is really the only example we give because it's the only thing that we've ever really had happen, and it's happened maybe 3 times in our company's history. But how easy is it to get to our water pump, swap it out, get the van back to them so they can have enough time to turn the van and get it ready for the client the next day, right? I don't want to be hanging them up. They will and have stayed until 10, 11 o'clock at night turning a vehicle and getting it ready the next day.
Yeah. Outside shower.
Yep.
Fill.
Exactly. Yep.
Drain.
Just easy winterization stuff.
Okay.
So, or if you ever did want to like flush and drain your tank, you could just hook a little short bib up there. You can drain that out. And our water heater as well, we have that tapped into our actual like drain and purge system that you only have to undo a valve like on the bottom of your hot water heater at home. For us, you just turn that and it just drains it out. So we've installed the running boards that you conveniently use to get in.
I did.
Right? Didn't even notice.
Nope, didn't notice.
Didn't notice, but
Those are nice.
yeah, no, it is a little bit of a step once you gotta kind of get up in there.
This is awesome.
Right? Oh, stop on. There we go.
There we go.
Yeah. So, true butcher block.
Yep.
That we're actually finishing with like a bar top counter grade, like hardened like material. It's a 2-part material that we use, so holds up really, really well. But you notice like cabinet space, as much stuff we can give to the client. This one will be a toilet space, that little stowaway cassette toilet
Oh, wow.
you can put in here.
The one you brought last night was a shower right there. That was cool.
Yeah. So we actually had the whole like kitchen set up right here. But this one, it makes it so we can put the bench seat in, and your whole kitchen is now on that side.
Got it. Very cool.
So we touched on all 3 manufacturers.
Perfect.
So yeah.
Good day to tour.
Yeah, no, definitely. Over here, this is our rental and kind of finishing side, right?
Okay.
So the vans are completely done. You don't see sawdust on the ground. This is actually another client van that is done, and Helena and Ulysses.
Hi.
They are doing some finish cleaning and doing a quick, good detail on it. I don't know, it's probably not quick, it takes you guys a long time. I know. But this is another client's van that is finished and is being picked up next Wednesday. Other things like little features like that other van didn't have available, but like the rental van does. Flip up extended countertop areas. Yep. This one has the bench seating facing each other. So this one is
How many different configurations can you choose from?
Yeah, we basically have 4 different configurations.
Okay.
This one's kind of called the King Canyon. That last one we were in, where it was real open with a bench, and that's called our Old Faithful kind of a layout. Yeah. So basically, you can have 4 different layouts, and then we can kind of tailor that a little bit to a customer's wants and needs.
Yeah.
This one has kind of like dual. There's like a kind of a wardrobe like pedestal there on that side. This one has a pull-out pantry on the front. Another customer didn't want the pull-out pantry on the front because they wanted to be able to swivel that front seat around and create that to be a really long sleeping area. But this has a bunch more cabinets up top. So it's a lot of, again, asking the clients like, what do you want? I really want more storage because we're going to be going on trips that are 5, 6, 2 months, where we're going to be extending our stay on the road for a little bit longer. It's like, well, then you need to travel with a little bit more stuff just inherently. Or people are like, nah, I just kind of want to, go out on the weekends. And so I don't need that big of a cabinet. It is a cost thing too, right? We got to build a bigger cabinet, then it costs more money.
Got it.
Right? Somebody is not needing that. You don't need a 1,000 horsepower sand car.
Yeah.
If you go twice a year and you're like, no, I just like putting around, you know? Other people are like, I need a 1,000 horsepower sand car. I go out 10 times a year, right?
Right.
So like our big Del Rey van right there, we have 4 of Battleborn's Game Changer batteries, like you saw the other night. And so that's a 13 kilowatt system.
That's insane.
So as much power as you need. And we got 1,000 watts of solar on the roof. Typically, we don't have that. Typically, like our Whitney rental van, which I'm thinking that gonna be getting you guys out in, if you get excited about that.
That'd be awesome.
Then we do 2 200 watt panels. We have 400 watts of solar. We're charging when the van's driving down the road. And then if you hit a campsite, you can plug in. So some people kind of have different trains of thought and, like I wanna go full boat one direction, full boat the other direction, as far as like how I'm going to charge my rig. We like to kind of marry them all together, right? So, you guys in Montana, not getting the best sunlight all year round. So maybe we want to add an insurance battery in there with the amount of solar we would expect to come in.
Right.
Or if you guys are like, hey, we're going to be filming and taping only a few days a week, and we're going to be on the road every third day, and we're going to be traveling for a couple hours or 3-4 hours, then we can calculate, okay, here's how much we're going to put back into the batteries.
Right.
Even if it's cloudy out, so we'll discount the solar panels, we can just kind of rely on each system. And that's how we really do kind of get that, we'll call it even like the last component, electrical system. And what is it you want to do? And here we'll calculate it to what we expect the customer needing. And we have 8 years of history of trying to be able to figure this out, so pretty good at it now.
Yeah.
If not awesome at it. We're good at it. We know what we're doing. We know the people to talk to about how those components are going to work, how long they're going to last. And so we make it so you don't have to worry about it.
Right.
And we're also just giving you the option of saying, hey, we had a customer in here the other day. He wanted 3 game changers because he's like, a 4th one might be a little bit pricey for me right now.
Yep.
But we're like, okay, we can build the whole system, put 3 in. And in a year and a half or 2 years, if you think you need the 4th one, we can throw a 4th one in. It'll be a quick, easy reprogramming. We can fit it in. We know exactly where it's going to go.
Plan for it.
Exactly. Yeah. And so if a customer, in those game changers are massive. They're big boys, right? But if we're doing our 100 amp hour batteries, we can fit 6 of those, 600 amp hours in our electrical cabinet. So if somebody wants to do 4 to begin with, and we're like, a 5th one would be an insurance one.
Yeah.
But go use the van, see if you want that 5th one. And then maybe they do come back and get the 5th one, maybe they don't. Or they're like, yeah, we saved our pennies though, and we want 2 more.
Got it. Then you have the space.
Easy for us.
Can you run the 110, run the inverter while driving?
Yeah, no problem. It's all separate systems. Yep.
And then the alternator, the car alternator will then charge.
Its only job is charging our battery bank. And so then the inverter is technically pulling from the battery bank.
Typically though, right, you don't see while driving the AC side operational, right? So that's a pretty cool feature.
Yeah. Because you need to run a generator.
Run a generator.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah, no, totally. Well, I mean, we all kind of know, like motor coaches and stuff like that. You're driving down the road, running your generator, try and run your AC units because the AC sucks in those.
Yeah, exactly.
We'll give them a fair shake. You get a big 40-foot motor coach.
Yeah.
It's a big space to cool. You know, the dash, it's going to be barely able to keep it. We're in a smaller space, so we have a little bit of a side angle.
So really, though, you could, I mean, all intents and purposes, we could shoot all day, hang out, do our thing, hop in the van, plug in batteries. We're headed to our next destination, charge during the day while driving, and then shoot again that evening and not have to run a generator, drag something out. That for me right there is a huge component, right? You don't see that very often.
If we can get a silver star for that, we'll send you out just in a very standard rental van, Whitney here. We'll get that put together for you guys, and that's exactly how you'll be able to use it.
That's perfect. That's awesome.
And you can even, so our systems are separately, we're like DC and AC. So in Delray, we were out in Hershey, Pennsylvania, and a lady, she was like, I can't run our air conditioner, I can't run my blow dryer, and I can't run my straightener all at the same time. She's like, system won't do it. And fair enough to us. I was like, I knew we could do it. And we were out there with the Battleborn guys, and we're all sitting there just kind of, because we knew that like our air conditioner in that van is a DC air conditioner. So we were going to be pulling from 2 different systems. We were pulling directly from our batteries for our air conditioner to run. And then our inverter was going to be running the hair dryer and the straightener completely separate. So for us, it was kind of a slam dunk that we're like, we'll do it. She came over the next day and she's like, I got them. And we did a whole video on it.
That's awesome.
And I can share the link if you want. They're influencers and they have a family of 7, I think. Oh. But they're super cool people. They plugged them in, turned them on, and then we had the air conditioner going, and we did it for like 10, 15 minutes straight. And she's like, I can't believe it. That's Stevie, And Stevie was the very first van that we ever built.
Really?
Yeah, that's
awesome.
van number one. It's not really here for any nostalgia stake, but it's kind of is.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so Stevie right there was the very first van, and the most nerve-wracking part was my business partner David had put the van on a credit card to buy it.
What?
And I was gonna pay for all the materials to outfit it. And I'm up top and we're like, here's where we're gonna put this ceiling fan. I'm gonna cut a 14-inch hole in the top of your credit card payment van. And that was the most nerve-wracking part for sure.
I bet.
Yeah.
I bet.
Because at that point, it was pretty early in the build process, and it was
What
like
was your background in this? Are you cabinetry or woodworking or
zero of that. Like I am old tool and die maker from Wisconsin.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so my background is all tool and die and capital equipment sales. So grew up in a machine shop when I was started at like 13, 14 years old, and there's a race team on the side. So that's really what drew me there. I was like washing short course BOHO car panels and stuff like that. Grew up doing that and learning tool and die, and then ended up driving and racing for that company as well. So I've raced short course 1600 buggies, and then I also raced a pro light truck for them as well. Did a few races for a stock car once. I crashed though. It was good. Like some of my friends that were like some of the owners of the company I worked for. It's like, I was like, yeah, we got that race. Like, oh yeah, we're gonna go tonight. And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, well, if you're gonna fuck it, if you're gonna go sideways, you're gonna do it tonight. Yeah. Like right away, and it happened.
Oh man.
I made it through the first race. The second race, I spun out, and it was this other rookie kid on the track, and he was like a half a lap behind me, and I was at the back of the pack, and he came around and smoked the front of the car off, and I was like, oh, that kind of, and it was a super ragtag, just like run what you brung.
Yeah.
It was a full stock car, a sportsman stock car, but it was the guy just kind of had it for years, and he's like, time to dust it off and get it on the track. You want to drive it? And I'm like, yeah, I can drive that thing. No problem.
Right? No, man. Got it. And then it was just a kind of a...
It was David saying, could you help me build one of these? And the bane of my existence turned into not being able to hold microns or tenths of an inch with like machining and tool and die, to needing to give it an 1/8 inch gap.
I see.
Or 3/16. And what we've noticed, and that's a part of like the pull-out table that you saw. If we build it too tight, when it goes to Florida or Pacific Northwest, all the wood swells. So you got to imagine that table's growing and the van's growing as well and changing its form. And so we've locked tables up.
Interesting.
Where we've had to literally get them like jacked out and then removed from the vehicle, trimmed down, and then put back in.
Wow.
So a lot of these fit and finishes that we have are a history of understanding the thermal dynamics of like how wood grows and shrinks, kind of like back to like injection molds and plastic extrusion molds and stuff that I had to deal with back in my tool and die, and then I did capital equipment sales for like 15 years as well, and that's actually what brought me out to Arizona.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, that's the whole reason I'm here, is the tool and die industry and machining industry, and happy for it. It was a good way to cut your teeth. You don't get much slack in a machine shop.
Right, for sure. So how long have you been in business doing this?
8 years. We're going just over 8 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a couple miles under our tires. And a lot of experiences, and we've gone through some really highs and some lows, and we've always had pretty stable footing. Always had good long-term projections that we've always tried to do, because we really do treat everybody here as a family.
Sweet, man.
Right on.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah. Thanks, Trevor.
Yep.